Hey, Dani K, coming to you from Dani K Gym and Wellness, and today's tip is, what are you failing at? And I know sometimes somebody might look at that and think, that that's like a negative thing, but through this conversation, you're going to see that it's actually, a good thing, failing. What are you failing at? So I want you, sorry, it's bebopping. Hey, DJ. So I'm trying to get that set right. So, hey, Kelly. What are you failing at, right? The thing is, if you're not failing at something, you're not trying. And I'm going to try, I might go all over the board or whatever, but I'm going to put it in kind of like a perspective, first of all, with like working out, right? So, if you are failing in the gym, a lot of my clients, we'll pick up the 15s, we'll do, hair, like your bicep curls or whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's too easy. Let's go to you're glistening. Let's go to the 20s. You're like, oh, I can't do the 20s. I'm going to fail at that. Good, right? The only way that your muscles are going to grow is in failure. If you're doing the weights that you can actually do, you're burning calories, okay? But in the fact of you're not increasing lean tissue because you're not pushing your muscles, you're not stressing your muscles to failure. Failure is good. So like a lot of times I'll have my clients, let's say, a guy that's trying to get stronger, we do 8 to 10 reps. Let's just say 10 reps, right? So their first set's 10 reps, their second set's 10 reps, their third set is push yourself further. And then I say, if you can get up to 15 reps, then the next time around, we're going to bump you up to like the next weight or, like the next dumbbell, set or whatever we're lifting. And so the next time around, so like, let's just say it was the 20. So now we're moving up to the 25s. So, because they did 10, 10, and 15, right? So you did 5 more than what you were supposed to do. So that's easy. So you're not going to, if we keep you there, you're not going to increase muscle. You're not failing at anything. So you're not going to succeed in increasing lean tissue. So we grab the 25s and they do, 10. And then we grab, the second set, they do maybe 9. And then the second set, maybe they do 9, okay? So at that point, they're like, oh, see, I failed. That's good. Because this is an actual weight that's putting your body through a little bit of stress, right? So failure is good, especially when we're working out. Working out, that's the only way that you learn. That's the only way that your body will learn is through failure, right? And also there's 2 ways of looking at failure, right? So when I ask the question, what are you failing at? Somebody might sit back and say, I'm not failing at anything. Well, what are you trying? I love the shirt too. Look at the back, right? Whoop whoop. That's our soldier campaign, right? But so it's like, what are you failing at? And they might say, well, nothing. Well, but you just told me like yesterday that you wanted to lose weight and you're not losing weight, right? Yeah. Well, I want to lose weight, but what? You're choosing failure, right? So there's 2 different ways of looking at failure. What are you failing at because you're trying to do something, and what are you choosing to sit back and fail at, right? So so if you want to lose weight and you're not doing anything about it, you're not trying, so you're not failing at losing weight because you're not trying. You're failing at losing weight because you're choosing to not try. So when you see that question, it's kind of like that little pop in there, like, well, wait a minute, why is Dani asking me what I'm failing at? Because failure brings learning. Failure, there's a couple of times when, oh, DJ, hashtag fail forward. I love that. Right, exactly. Fail forward, right? So like there's a lot of time, when I've used this when the kids are trying to learn how to walk, right? So they get up, they're holding on the coffee table, they take a couple of steps and they fall. Well, they fail. So do they just stay there? Oh, see, I told you I couldn't walk. I'm just going to stay here. A 50-year-old like crawling around on the ground because they were afraid to fail. They were afraid to fail forward. They were afraid to get up and start walking again, trying it again, right? So the thing is, don't be afraid. I mean, we're all afraid, you know what I mean? But don't let that fear hold you back from trying. Don't let that fear of failure set you up for choosing failure. right? So, like the baby, they get up and they walk again, they fall. They get up and they walk again, they fall. So but then eventually they're walking. So they're learning, and they're probably, we don't know, they're processing, well, if I hold on the coffee table this way or whatever, and they're learning that balance. They're figuring out that balance, right? So they're learning to walk. So you're learning from failure, right? So there's like I said, there's two things where you can choose failure, because you're choosing to not do anything because you're afraid of stumbling, falling, tripping, But like DJ said, hashtag fall forward. Or would you say fail forward, fail forward? So when you're failing forward, you should be learning from that. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and then learn from that to go. And again, like back into like the weight and the muscle failing, when you fail in the gym, when those muscles are failing and fatiguing, your muscles are learning to get stronger. They are moving to get stronger, and you're going to increase lean tissue. You're going to see results. If you are, wanting to do a 5K, you don't just set out, like very rare does someone say, oh, I want to do a 5K. They wake up and they go out and do a 5K. Okay. Very rare does that happen. But if you wake up and you're like, you know what, I want to do a 5K, and you go try and do a 5K and you only made a mile and a half, like, because a 5K is like what, 3.1, 3.2 miles, and you only made it a mile and a half. Well, guess what? You tried. Now the next time you set out, maybe set out to maybe just do 2 miles, since okay, my mile and a half I did, I'm going to set out to do 2 miles. So then the next time you go run and you do 1.75 miles, true, you failed at doing 2 miles, but you did a 1/4 mile more than what you did the last time you ran. So you're failing forward, as DJ said, hashtag fail forward, right? So the thing is, when you are failing at something, you're trying, and hopefully, Lord willing, you're learning from that, right? If you're not failing at all, you're choosing failure, right? So and I have a saying up on my wall, and it says, why choose failure when success is an option? So you're like, well, wait a minute, isn't that, if I fail, I'm not succeeding. But if you're trying, if you're failing at something, that means you're trying to do something, and eventually success will happen, right? Again, back with the dumbbells, if you're doing your 20-pound dumbbells and you do 10, 10, and then you did 15 on your third set, time to move up, right? Because your body already knows those muscles, that weight. So you're not going to see success. You're not choosing success with those muscles and getting stronger or whatever if you stay with those 20s. So now we're going to try the 25s. And then so maybe you do 10 and 10 and then 9 reps on your third set. Well, see, I failed. I didn't get to the 10. But that's good, because you did 10, right? You did 10 of the heavier weight. So then the next week we're going to pick up, because that's a decent weight that your body's struggling with. Struggle is good because we learn from struggle, right? We learn from failure. So then we pick up those 25s again the next week. And now this week you're doing 10, 10, and 15. Or maybe you're doing 12 now, right? That's good. See, you didn't get to the 15. But you got further along, right? So that's the key. Like, what are you failing at? So sit back when you're watching this message, if you're watching it now, drop a 1. If you're watching it on a replay, type in replay later on or whatever. But if you're watching it now, think about, what am I failing at? Not what am I sitting back and failing because I'm not trying. What am I failing at? What am I doing? Boom, there's Lynn. Hey, give me a 1. That's awesome. So DJ, it's what are you failing at? And then from that, you're going to learn. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Like, I'll set out to do, I don't know, maybe a certain, because like last year, I had a couple of classes going on, right? And they just weren't picking up and going, right? And then some of the classes picked up and some of the classes didn't. So I learned from that. Okay, so I wasn't going to think, oh, well, that's a stupid class. That's not going to go here, so I'm not going to do that. No, I want to see, is it going to go? So I tried that class. It failed. It didn't work. It didn't work here, but now I know. Okay, so maybe I needed to tweak it a little bit. Maybe we needed to put it on a different day. Maybe we needed to put it at a different time. Those kinds of things. So if I'm trying something, I'm failing at something, I'm going to take and sit back and say, what can I learn from this? What can I gain from this and use it to help me in another area or make this better? You know, again, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. He did not do it the first damn time, right? I think, I mean, I don't know if this is a real thing or not, but I've heard like through, you know, some of the things that I listened to or whatever, that, you know, he tried 3,000 times. However many times he tried, obviously, he did not set out the first time and make that light bulb. And we all know that Alexander Graham Bell, 999, I heard 3,000. I don't care what, 999, 3,000 is still, he failed. But he was trying, right? So what is he failing at? He is failing at trying to invent the light bulb. And now he finally invented the light bulb because he sat back and tried to figure it out. Well, that didn't work, so let's see if this is going to work. Try it, boom, didn't work. Try it, boom, didn't work. Try it, boom, it worked, right? So Alexander Graham Bell, he didn't invent the telephone the first time. You know, I mean, so the thing is, if you're failing at trying something, if you're failing at something, you're trying something, and you will be successful if you stay with it, right? If you're sitting back not doing anything, that's where you're choosing failure. So you've got two ways of looking at failure, whether you're trying something, you're failing at something, or you're choosing failure. And, you know, and then, you know, that whole thing is about, you know, like fear. Fear makes you choose failure, right? And for me, like, well, I mean, in my aspect, my sense, fear makes me try, right? Because I'm afraid of sitting back there. I'm afraid of just not doing it. I'm afraid of watching everybody, you know, 3 months from now be where I could have been, right? With working out. Like, you wait for, you know, your buddy to work out with you, right? You know, like, hey, Billy Bob, can you come work out with me? Blah, blah, blah. I need a workout partner or whatever. And then, so, yeah, sure, I'll do it, blah, blah, blah. So then all of a sudden, Billy Bob keeps canceling on you, and then you don't do it, right? But then you have this other person that you started working out at the same time, or you find out this person started working out, you know, later on you find out that this person started working out at the same time you wanted to, but because you were so waiting on Billy Bob to get his butt to motivate you to get into the gym, that this other person 3 months from now has lost 30 pounds or has gained, you know, 10 pounds of muscle or whatever it might be. Because he did or she did, right? You were sitting back waiting for someone else to make you successful. Like you can't do that. Like, I mean, sure, you can have a buddy, call up a buddy, you know, workout buddy, but if that workout buddy can't make it in, you're choosing failure by not going in anyway, right? So again, what are you failing at? In a successful way, what are you choosing to fail at because of fear? DJ says the fear of loss is highly motivating for me, and that's kind of like what it is for me. It's like the fear of loss, the fear of not getting. I don't think, what if that doesn't work, you know? And then I sit back like, oh, if that doesn't work, you know, whatever. My fear is like the fear of loss. So my fear is not the fear of success. My fear is not the fear of, what if it doesn't work? My fear is, well, what if it does work? And I sat back. I could have been, you know, I could have been there like a month, in a month's time or whatever. I could have been there doing that. And now but I sat back here and pissed and farted around for a month, right? So the thing is, you have to, you don't have to do anything, but like my mom used to say, you don't have to do anything but pay taxes and die, right? But in life, if you want to get somewhere, I mean, and cool, if you're cool with doing the 20-pound dumbbells every single day for you know 20 years to come, if you're cool with, you know, making someone else's dreams come true, if you're cool with just kind of sitting back and bitching and complaining and moaning that Billy Bob and Mary Sue are doing doing what you want to do, that's cool, right? That's cool for you, and that's okay. But if you're wanting what Billy Bob and Mary Sue are doing, you got to be okay with failing. You know, what are you failing at? So as you're watching this video, again, whether you're watching it now or watching in the replay, you know, what are you failing at? Not what are you choosing to fail at, but what are you failing at? Because that means you're trying, right? So that, I don't know, it just kind of like hit me because I was like working out And, it's like, man, you got to that muscle fatigue, but that's where growth happens when you're failing, right? When your muscles are failing, that's where growth happens. So, so in business, in life, in whatever, if you're trying something and you're failing at it, you should be gaining some growth, some strength, some learning, some knowledge on how to make that better. You know what I mean? So again, what are you failing at? Because you're trying and you're learning and you're going to get it, you're going to be successful with it. And what are you choosing to fail at? Because you're afraid or whatever it might be, right? So I want to kind of scroll back through and see what's going on, because I got on a rampage. I was going to town, right? So I got a lot of good people. All right, DJ already said that. Love the shirt. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, there is no try, only do. Right? I know. And to me, failure, if you're trying, you're not failing, right? But that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, Jenny Utz, reel it in, Jim Brewer, Maggie's. So Kelly says, great message, important for people to know it's okay to fail as long as you're trying your best. Exactly. And then you're learning from that, hopefully. Sit back and think, well, what did I do wrong? What could I do better? Why didn't that work? Or maybe ask a couple of people, hey, why didn't you like that? Why didn't you like that class? Why didn't you take that? Well, it was because of the time. Oh, it was because of this. Oh, it was because of, okay, great. Boom. Now you can take that knowledge and make it better, make that class better, put it in a different time frame for people to actually do and be successful. Let's see. Lynn says, great message. I fail a lot, but that means I am trying a lot as well. Never thought of it that way before. I choose to keep on failing forward. Exactly. Fail forward. Hey, Brandon.
What's up?
What are you failing at, dude?
What am I failing at?
Yeah.
I don't know. Finding Ashley?
Finding Ashley. Boom. So, yeah. So what time is it? Okay, almost time for my next client. So, but anyway, so ask yourself that question, what are you failing at? And then just be honest and be honest with yourself whether you're failing at it because you're trying, and then figure out how you can make that better. How you can take the next step in making, again, like the light bulb, or the telephone. It made it better. And now look at our telephones. Good Lord, right? I mean, we're doing this on our telephones. I mean, I know Alexander Graham Bell, if he came out from the ground and said, what the hell, you can do that with your phone? So what are you failing at, and what are you choosing to fail at? Because you just don't want to try. You're scared to try, whatever it is. Be honest with yourself, and maybe you can, enlighten yourself, and then maybe you can try. Because people inside this box, and that's okay if that's for you. But when you step out of that box, that's when you're going to fail at something. You should be failing at something. And then that's just going to progress you, make you better, make you learn, make you understand, and do something even better. And I'm telling you, if you look at the most successful people, they didn't just jump out the bed and make a multi-million-dollar company, right? They failed. I know one of my mentors, Dwight, he since passed away from illness. But he was one of my incredible mentors, and he used to tell me, he goes, Dani, years ago when I first started my business, I had pink slips on my door all day, every day. But he kept doing it. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? He kept doing it. He kept failing forward. And then he had a multi-million-dollar company. And he told me he was cashing in fun tickets. So every time he spent money, he's just cashing in fun tickets, because he learned, he failed forward, right? He failed at trying, and he kept doing it, and he learned where he could do it. And I focus on those people. So if that's what I want, if I want to fail forward, then I look at people. I want to surround myself around those people, and they don't have to be multi-million-dollar business people. They could be just like my mom. My mom failed forward. My mom was a hard damn worker, and she raised 2 kids all by herself, right? And I saw that, and she was my mentor. She was one of my my first mentors, my only big. So, and she failed forward all the time. Nothing got her down. Every time somebody pushed her down, if life pushed her down, she got back up. She figured out what the hell she could do, and then she did it, right? So failing forward, it doesn't have to be a multi-million-dollar person, or a company. It can be just, just your your run of the mill, mom or dad. Just look at these mentors and see what they're doing. If they're failing forward, then follow them. If they're sitting back, if that's what you want to do, if they're sitting back and not doing anything, don't sit back with them, because you're not going to be going where Billy Bob and Mary Sue are going if you're sitting back with Timmy and Tom. You know what I mean? So Kelly said, my dad has always told me that any decisions that are important to you should be a little scary. It's right. And if it scares you, and that's what I have always told myself, if it scares you, that's where I need to be. If it scares you to do something, that's what you need to do, right? So if it's not scaring you, you're not living life. And I said this a couple of times yesterday. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. And I'm not saying dangerously or anything like that, but like Kelly said, if it's not scaring you, you're not doing something. Even if it's switching a job, it doesn't have to be starting a business or jumping out of an airplane, not like that kind of thing. But if it doesn't scare you, if you're scared to go into that next level, the next job level, if you're scared to go in and ask for that raise, that's what you should be doing. If it scares you, do it, right? Just fear is false evidence appearing real. Do it, right? Okay, so FUB tickets, new shirt. What? You have to explain that, DJ. Explain that FUB tickets, new shirt thing. Explain that. Leave me some comments. All right, so with that, I'm glad that you all enjoyed this message. It was something that was just kicking in my brain a little bit. DJ says, sup, Tia? Tia, what's up? Stellar Fitness up in York, PA. She's got some amazing. So if anybody is from fun tickets, yes. Now I gotcha. Cashing in fun tickets, new shirt, gotcha. So if anybody's up watching this and they're in York, PA, go see Tia up there, Stellar Fitness. She's another Koga fitness instructor, right? Whoop whoop, and she's got some aerial yoga up there. She's got pound. She's killing it up there. So if you're in the York area, go see Stellar. She killing it. All right, so anyway, I think my client's out there and I've ran on too long. So cash in fun tickets. What are you failing at? Not what are you choosing to fail, right? So stay in tune, stay informed, stay motivated. Bye.